Welcome back, my loves. I'm Andrea, and welcome to Life as I Know It. If you like fun, easy, and budget friendly decor, then this is the place for you. Today, I have several easy Valentine's DIYs. So, with that being said, let's go grab our flowers, our hearts, our ribbons, and let's go make us some Valentine's DIYs. Now, I took the four love signs from the Dollar Tree and I painted them all white using Waverly paint. You can use any white paint that you have on hand. You're going to cut off the strings on the back of it because we're going to stack these four love signs together to make a vase. Now we're going to take these love signs and we're going to stack two of them together. I'm going to put E6000 on top and add a little hot glue. I would definitely use either E6000, some adhesive, or wooden glue. I just would not just use hot glue to keep it together. Once we have them stacked together, I'm going to take these little clamps that I got from the DT and use them to hold the signs together. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other two love signs. Now, once we have our two sections, what we're going to do is the exact same thing. We're going to put some glue, some E6000, and put them together. We're just going to bring the two sections together. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because somehow I miss videotaping it. So we're just going to take the two signs and glue them just the way we did the other two pieces and bring them together. And definitely, like I said, either adhesive glue or wood glue would be your best bet if you want to move this around and continue to use it. And once all of our pieces are together, as you can see, we're just going to put some flowers in here. You can put a bottom if you want to. I chose not to, but if you want to put a bottom, then I would take one of those plank woods that they sell at the dollar store that's square and it'll go right underneath with no problem. And we are done with this DIY. Now for this DIY, you can paint your heart any color. I chose Waverly, which is the pink color. Now, I only did one coat. That's why it looks really light. Me and the camera must have been at odds this day because I swore I was filming and I wasn't. So all I did was take some tulip and wrap it around the heart the first time, and I'm going to do it again the second time. Depending on how much coverage that you want on your heart, is how much tulip you want to put on here. Now, if you don't want to use tulip, you could use ribbon. But this is tulip that I had from Hobby Lobby that I got last year for $1.29. So I wanted to use it. And all I'm going to do is wrap it around a couple times. Use some hot glue to affix it to the back of the heart. And then we're done with that part. And we're going to add some pearls. Now, these pearls are from the Floral Garden section, and these are new this year only because they don't have holes in them. So they had two sizes. I'm quite sure there is a smaller size. I haven't found them yet, but when I do, I'm definitely going to buy them. So for the smaller ones, I just used the ones that I had that had the hole in them. And all we're going to do is use some hot glue, and we're going to put pearls all over our heart. Now I grabbed these little sticker pearls from my stash and I'm just going to add a couple of them on the sign to go along with the other pearls. Once you have enough pearls on there, then we're going to flip this over and we're going to use ribbon to make a hang tag. You can also use twine. You don't have to do this part if you don't want. It's optional, but I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue and attach the ribbon to the back of the heart. And once we do that, we are done with this DIY. Now this DIY, we're going to take another one of those love signs and I'm going to use Waverly paint and paint it white. You don't have to do that. And then I just outlined it some scrap paper that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to use that to cover the love sign. I believe last year, I really remember them having these love signs, and I swore they were already painted white. I'm not sure, but I'm going to use some Mod Podge so that we can put our paper on top of it and that it will stick. And once I have that on there, I'm going to add a little bit Mod Podge on top of the paper to help it stay still when it dries. I'm going to use that little scraper tool that we got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that to go over the paper to get rid of any bubbles that's in the paper. And I'm going to use our little sanding box just to get off any excess paper. Now this heart, I believe I got from the dollar store. I'm going to add a little hot glue on the back, and I'm just going to put it right into that little heart shape. And we are done with this DIY. As soon as I saw this sign, I knew I was going to make a wreath with it. Now I got the ribbon from Michael's off the clearance. A great place if you have a Hobby Lobby near you and you can get to Hobby Lobby. They put their ribbon on sale every other week. And if it's not the one section of ribbon, it's the section over there by the material that's on sale. And they do have good ribbon. Now all we're going to do is put a little hot glue on the back of the frame, and we're going to attach the ribbon to the frame. And once we have that done, we're just going to take the ribbon through, loop it, lay it right next to the piece that we just put down, pull it tight, and then loop it again. Make sure it's laying the way you want, and then pull it tight. And we're going to continue to do that all through the wreath. Now, Michael, usually you can get 40% off because they still do the coupon with 40% off of one item. And they do put their ribbon on sale. But they're great at the end of the season. Then you really can rack up on their ribbon. Now, if you are enjoying the context of this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, how about hitting that subscribe button? And when we get close to the end, we're just going to add a little hot glue. And then we're going to take that last piece of ribbon and wrap it around to cover up the end. And once we have that wrapped through, we're always going to cut our ribbon in the back. So that way it looks nice and neat going around. Just add a little hot glue and attach that down. And we are done with this part of our wreath. Now these little donuts come off very easily. We're just going to pull them off that string. And then we're just going to get our hot glue gun and decide where on the wreath we want to place them. And once we decide where, we're just going to add a little hot glue and then place them on the wreath. And once we have all our donuts attached to our wreath, we're going to take some white tulip and we're going to make a bow to cover the one donut that has a hole. And all I do is take the tulip, pull it, and open my hand, put it in, fold it, grab it, fold it again, and then I'm just going to cut it. We're going to take a little string, wrap it around just to hold it all together, add a little hot glue, and then we're going to put it right on top of that hole to cover it up. And once we have our bow on top of our heart, we're going to add a little glue and attach our heart to the front of our wreath, and then we are done with this DIY. Now, I got this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It was 30% off. I think that's the most I've ever seen a yarn is 30% off. And since I cannot knit, I said we're going to do something with this yarn, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a wreath with it. I think wreaths are my happy place. I really do. I enjoy doing wreaths. I like giving them away. I love coming home and looking at the wreath that I made that's on my front door. It gives me even more joy when I go to someone else's home and I made a wreath and it's hanging on their door. So, like I said, I just think they're my happy place. So all we're going to do is take this yarn and we're just going to wrap it around the wreath. Add a little glue here and there as we go. And the reason why I am just taking this yarn and doing it this way instead of cutting off pieces, when some of this yarn, if you cut it, it frills up and I don't like the way that looks. So I'm just going to take my time and do it. When you do this, just sit in front of the TV and watch your favorite show or listen to some music. Now I will add a little hot glue here and there to keep the yarn from moving as we go. The hardest part, I think, in the heart is this part right here and the bottom part, just because of that indent, because you want to keep the integrity of that indent when you wrap it and not lose it. But just take your time, and like I said, you can add a little hot glue if you need the yarn to stick, or if you're using ribbon also you can put a little hot glue there. Now, when you get down to the end, you're going to use a little bit more yarn just to cover that up, because it's going to take several times around to get that point covered. So just take your time. Like I said, add a little hot glue if you need to, but just know that point right there is going to be a little thicker than the sides, just like the top part was a little thicker. And once you have all that wrapped around, you secure on the back, and then we're going to get ourselves some ribbon to add on to this wreath. Now this ribbon right here, I did get from Michael's off of clearance last year. So all I'm going to do is add a little hot glue, and I'm going to wrap it around about 3 times, cut it and secure it in the back. I'm going to take the little hearts from the Dollar Tree and place them on top of the ribbon. So that's why I'm adding ribbon to this wreath. Now these little hearts right here, I just pulled them right off the stick with no problem. And then I just clipped the ends to make them smaller. I'm going to add a little hot glue to the end of their stems and place them in between the ribbon. Now the last heart, I'm just going to put a little glue on the back of it and attach it to the other hearts. And once I have that attached, I'm going to go grab some of this ribbon, fold it in half, and take it through the heart, add some hot glue to it so we can hang it, and then we are done with this DIY. When I saw these gnomes, I was like, I have to make a wreath with them. So here we are, and we're going to make a wreath. So we're going to take this ribbon that we got from the garden section at the dollar store, put a little hot glue on the back of the frame, attach it, and then we're just going to pull the ribbon through. And every time we take the ribbon through the frame, we're going to make sure it's lined up to the ribbon that we just laid, and then we're going to pull it tightly through the frame. And continue to do this until we get to the other side of the frame. Now I did use 2.5 ribbons to complete this heart. How was your weekend? Did you do anything special, or did you get snowed in like we did? Leave a comment and let us know how your weekend went and whether or not you got snow. We got plenty of snow, so I just stayed inside, outside of Walking Hunter, who did not appreciate the snow whatsoever. Now, when we get to the bottom, you are definitely going to use some ribbon to cover up the tip of the heart. So what you're going to do is add a little hot glue, cover it up, and then take the ribbon through, add some hot glue if you want, and we're going to crisscross it to the other side when we go underneath, and then we're going to reverse it the other way and crisscross it the back. You're definitely going to use some ribbon, so you're going to have to play with it. When you crisscross it, I think it gives the best coverage of doing the tip of the heart. Now, as far as this heart, I only want the gnomes, so I'm just going to pull it off, and it does come off kind of easily. And once we have that off, we're going to take that heart piece and put that to the side. We can use that for another project, and we're just going to hot glue the gnomes to this heart. And what I want to do is cut a piece of ribbon and attach it on the back to make sure this way the gnomes will stay attached to the heart frame and that it has a little support. Now we're going to take some of our ribbon that we got from the DT, and we're going to make this about 6 inches. I don't usually measure, I just fold it and keep it moving. So I'm just going to fold it over 4 times, and then we're going to cut it. Now I take and make a slit. You got to be very careful with this ribbon when you're cutting through that wire, because several times I went to go make a slit and cut half of the ribbon in half. So just make a little slit on both sides so you can take the string. Once you fold it, put the string in between those 2 little slits, tie it in a knot, and then you can pull it. And once you pull it, all we have to do after that is fluff our little bow. Now we got to cut this string a little long because we're going to use this string to attach it to our wreath. Once we have our string attached, we're going to fluff out our bow. And once we have that bow fluffed out, we're going to ducktail the ends. And then we're just going to use the string, as I said, to attach it to the frame of the wreath. And once we do that, we are done with this DIY. Now, this is more of a hack than an actual DIY. So we're going to take this box from the Dollar Tree. I didn't like the ribbon, so we took it off. We're going to take the ribbon that we got from the Dollar Tree and just hot glue it on to the box. This is really cute. They had these boxes in, I think, 3 different colors with words on there. And what I like about this box is you can do whatever you want with it. You can paint it. You can leave it the way it is. You can change it with the seasons. So I think this is definitely a great buy. I'm going to take a piece of ribbon, cut it, glue the 2 ends together, and then put a little glue in the middle to close the bow down. Then we're going to take another piece of ribbon and just wrap it around. This is my little cheap bow. Take it around, seal it in the back with the hot glue, and then you're done with your little bow. And then we're going to hot glue the bow to the box, and then we're done with this hack. Well, my loves, thank you so much for tuning in and watching my video. I hope you enjoyed our fun and easy Valentine's DIY. If so, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button. And if you hit the notification button, that just lets you know every time I upload a video. All 3 are free. And if you are returning, you are truly appreciated. I want everyone to have a blessed day. Remember, it costs nothing to be kind, and we will see you in our next video. Bye for now.